Refined.
You kind of have to venture in to really find out what's here.
It's like a big secret.
Yeah.
We jump into the coolest shopping experience at a spot where art takes center stage. Plus, gritty and gripping. Refined chats with the stars of a Seattle play that's giving audiences something to talk about. And he's a living legend.
I am a writer-director who wound up making a living as an actor.
Star of the silver screen and Seattle native, Tom Skerritt spills the tea on his career and his newest project.
Seattle Refined starts now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gart Swanson. We are in downtown Seattle today, and that's Astro the dog behind me. He's pretty cool. You know, it's rare for our Refined team to get starstruck on this show, but there's one hometown actor that we couldn't wait to meet, and frankly, we were a little bit intimidated. That's because his movie resume is pretty impressive. He's appeared in blockbuster hits from Top Gun to Steel Magnolias to A River Runs Through It. Here's Refined's Malia Karlinski.
It's a beautiful day on Lake Washington. Amid the gently lapping waves, kayakers, and overcast sky,
Great to see you.
there's some serious star power.
I apologize for being so close to you.
Even getting set up for the interview, we got a taste of that trademark charm.
A beautiful woman is apologizing for being so close to me. Now, what is that? Can you figure that out?
Well, there are more important accomplishments.
Seattle's own Tom Skerritt has been in some of the biggest movies and TV shows of the past 5 decades. But his amazing acting career started by accident.
Well, I was an English major in college who saw Citizen King. And I was so moved by it, so I want to write and direct that.
It was the 1960s, and Skerritt was a student.
I am a writer-director who wound up making a living as an actor, and that's one of those other odd things. I thought I should know how to act, and then they hired me to be in a little $1.98 movie, which has Robert Redford and Sidney Pollack in it.
Glad to have you with us.
The movie was War Hunt. One thing led to another.
I met this television director who lived in the neighborhood there in Westwood when I was going to UCLA. And so I mentored with him for several years.
MASH, a motion picture that raises some...
And one day he calls me up and says, so I got a job directing a movie. I'd love you to be in it. And it's called MASH. So I'm mentoring...
That smells well potatoes.
I'm mentoring with Robert Altman. MASH comes out and goes to the ceiling with success.
MASH lit up the silver screen in 1970 and won an Oscar for Best Screenplay. Then another hit the following year. Check out a young Tom Skerritt as a motorcycle cop in Harold and Maude.
It's your truck.
Hal Ashby, which I was involved with him when he was doing Harold and Maude, and being there and watching him cut. He's an Academy Award-winning editor, so you're learning from the best.
He became an in-demand actor while still soaking up everything he could about making movies.
Then Ridley Scott, I followed him everywhere I could when we were doing Alien.
My options, sir.
Simple. First, you've acquired enough points to show up tomorrow and graduate with your Top Gun class. Or you could quit.
And you know this, when you talk about Tom Skerritt, what comes to mind is, of course, Top Gun, River Runs Through It, Steel Magnolias is a big one.
Weezer, can we call a truce long enough for me to get a piece of cake? Thanks, Weezer. Nothing like a good piece of...
I know this is tough. What's your favorite Tom Skerritt movie?
To have the career that I've had and fall into it in the way I did and absorb it the way I have and to be able to execute it the way I can is quite enough.
How do you keep creating these characters?
Well, acting and writing, any creative thing we do is the sum of what we experience. You know, you just absorb the way people walk, the way they talk to each other. That's the imagination at work.
Now 85 years old, Skerritt's imagination is as incredible as ever. Slowing down is not something he's interested in.
I don't know really what the point is in retiring as long as you can do something, especially now because I really feel very much about a certain responsibility to the community to give what I've learned to that which I know, which is the film business. This is Jim.
Along with wife Julie, he started a new business called Hey You Media. This old school movie star is all about creating new content. They call it bite-sized for every appetite.
new media content, which is what Hey You Media is about, short subject matters, episodic matters, stories we can tell episodically and deliver to the new world.
It's so cool.
On iPhones and iPads and home video.
Well, speaking of content, I think I saw you cooking.
Cooks out there.
Cooks out there. Okay, all I know is you were in there learning how to make this beautiful bread.
Oh, it's just a big old Chevron station, but in the back, it's got this crown glorious Jake's Pickup Bakery.
Besides the series and mini movies, the company will offer reimagined classics from the silent film era and Hey You features.
Well, David Gooderson wrote Snow Falling on Cedars. I don't know if you ever read that.
Yeah, and he's local, right?
Yeah. What we're trying to do is develop local product, local writers. There's David has what he's done, and he has a second one, which is called East of the Mountains, east of these mountains, Cascades, where he grew up.
Okay.
And we're going to co-produce that film, hopefully next spring, and I'll play the lead in it.
Okay.
The pat means get it over with, Tom.
Skerritt is still tackling new challenges with passion.
I learned a lot very early on about taking the risk of possibilities and just, going for the audacity of imagination. I love those phrases, don't you?
In the faith that looks through death.
For the past 30 years, he's managed to be a force in Hollywood with a home base right here in Seattle.
Why Seattle?
Oh, look. People like you, people that are here who are just got their feet on the ground, and we can talk about baseball, football, and a number of things other than what's your next move.
With around 70 movies to his name and 100 TV shows, Tom Skerritt is still acting, learning, teaching, and taking risks.
Good luck. And it's not about winning or losing, it's really about what you learn in the process of trying, taking the risk of possibility. And that one is very much in my soul.
Malia Karlinski for Seattle Refined.
To watch our interview with Tom Skerritt again or to share it, head to our website. Seattle Refined is just getting started.
Well, Heather, that's a great looking butt right there.
That is a nice looking butt.
Our kitchen bestie whips up one of the best pulled pork sandwiches I've ever tasted. Plus,
in Italian, we do cin cin. Cin cin.
From pasta to gelato, Refined finds a spot that's a serious taste of Italy. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. All week long we've been taking you on a California adventure, showing you the best places that Orange County has to offer. And our next stop has one of the most unique shopping destinations that we have ever seen. So you know what? I headed down to our sponsor, Travel Costa Mesa, to check it out.
Costa Mesa is an Orange County gem, an oasis for creative minds. From award-winning hotspots to the Segerstrom Center for the Arts, Costa Mesa has something unique at every corner.
Well, Costa Mesa is the city of the arts, so this is a perfect example of the type of arts that you might see around the city. Free art, public art.
Nirvana from Seattle.
Right?
This part is very artsy, more modern food, restaurants, artsy. Very becoming art district style stuff.
And if you really want to take an avant-garde experience in Costa Mesa, you have to visit the Lab.
Okay, this is the Lab. That stands for Little American Business, and it's also known as the Anti-Mall. The focus here is on local business owners, small business owners who, may not be in a large mall and have that overhead.
You're in the city, and then you have this little pocket called the Lab that's right here, and it's just so unique.
Yeah, and you see how unassuming it is from the front when you pull in off the street. You kind of have to venture in to really find out what's here.
It's like a big secret.
Yeah.
The Lab attracts people from all walks of life, and that's why shops like the Prison Boutique love it.
What makes the Lab so special?
I've just always loved the Lab, and I've just always felt like it's such a great and unique shopping center, just like the big cactus, great restaurants, places to hang out, art. It's just a very special shopping center.
Yeah, how would I look in that sequin number you got going back there?
You look good. We'll definitely get you in that on
right.
camera next.
Go, come on. And what's this thing right here.
So this is a wishing tree, and people could just come here, share their dreams. Look, this person wants a fresh start.
This one says, continue to be excellent. I have a wish. I wish that both of us will go hit these bean bags over here. It's not all fun and games. Of course, you can't leave Costa Mesa without talking about food and booze. One of the top breweries in town is Bootleggers. Which one do you think I would like here?
Well, I hear you're not much of a beer drinker.
Not a big beer
Maybe
drinker.
You like coffee?
I love coffee.
This one's actually called Coffee Blonde.
Coffee
so
Blonde?
That might be up your alley.
Can I try this? Coffee
Please
Blonde?
do. Tell me what it's all about.
Wow.
Have hints of coffee?
Yeah. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, there's a sister shopping center across the street called The Camp. That's where you'll find even more unique shops and restaurants, including a taste of Italy.
In Italian, we do chin-chin.
Vitali is an Italian cafe that serves up gelato, pasta, you name it.
So this is Prosecco and pineapple and basil sorbet.
I love that. Everything is authentic, including the owner. So you brought Italy here to Costa Mesa.
County, yes. But this is a little bubble of Bologna. Costa Mesa somehow has a lot of things in common with Italy. Costa Mesa is a friendly, it's a wonderful place to live. And then there is a lot of cultural activities in Costa Mesa, like the Segerstrom Theater, music, art.
And look at the culture you brought.
And then we brought a piece of Italy, authentic Italy.
Grazie, my friend.
Salute.
Oh, yeah. You'll leave Costa Mesa feeling inspired and a little more creative. The City of the Arts truly does live up to its name. To learn more about Travel Costa Mesa, head to our website. From SoCal to a Seattle stage, coming up, the new play that's delivering an emotional message to audiences. Welcome back to Refine. Time is running out to see one of the hottest musicals in town. If you're lucky enough to score a ticket, Dear Evan Hansen is playing at the Paramount through this weekend. It's the powerful story of a young man with social difficulties. Dear Evan Hansen has won 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. The musical runs through Sunday. A play at the Seattle Rep is the talk of the town right now. Last of the Boys is written by famous local playwright Stephen Dietz, and it's sure to leave a lasting impact on audiences.
This is still planet Earth, am I right?
We get it.
And as is the custom on planet Earth, when a man's father dies, the son is often expected to make an appearance at the funeral.
The play, Last of the Boys, is set outside a trailer in modern America, but the characters are still living in the aftermath of the Vietnam War.
It's a friendship play and a bit of a father-son play.
Kind of a Vietnam play, too. Kind of these two old Vietnam vets get together.
Reginald Andre Jackson is Ben, and Kevin Anderson is his friend Jeter.
Ben has isolated himself in a trailer on a dubious campsite, and Jeter keeps bringing the world to him every summer.
And it's sort of sparked off by his character Ben's father has died, and I've gone to the funeral thinking he would be there, and he isn't.
You picked up a girl on the way to my dad's funeral? At least she went. And she talked to everyone. She wanted to know all about your dad, the war, why the hell you weren't there. None of her damn business. Is that so?
Ben has made a pretty conscious decision to shut himself off, both from his family, from the war. To some extent the play is about denial and culpability.
Fine! Don't open it! Throw it away if you want! I don't care!
Jeter, he's sort of the agitator. I mean, he comes in and kind of pries open a lot of stuff. He's just sort of an But I think a lot of it, too, is he loves Ben tremendously and sees him so isolated and wants to, help in some way.
With 466,000 troops in country.
The Vietnam War is unpopular in this country. I know that. Believe me, I know that.
The legacy of the war looms large in The Last of the Boys.
There's a whole other big picture story going on with the Vietnam War and the McNamara, and all the lies that were espoused during that time.
It's heavy stuff, but there's plenty of brevity too, thanks to a script by Seattle native Stephen Dietz.
Oh, there's a good deal of humor, yeah.
In fact, Stephen calls it, he says this play is a comedy until it isn't. In the first scene, you think these two old guys, you know, joking around, there's a lot of funny dialogue. And then suddenly, you know, shoe drops and then something serious happens. I've done a lot of plays, and I would call this a great American play.
Reginald Andre Jackson hopes the audience sees the parallels to current events.
I relate today in our social political climate, you know, helps me relate to Ben, that idea that I'm just going to go and be on my mountain somewhere and sort of ignore what's going on. But this play makes you look at what happens when you try to deny things, when you try to brush them under and you ignore them. And there are serious consequences.
Last of the Boys plays at the Seattle Rep through February 10th. For more information, head to our website. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. You know, if you're a regular viewer of this show, you do know our kitchen bestie is Heather Earnhardt, the owner of Capitol Hill's Wandering Goose Cafe. Not only is Heather hilarious, but she makes some of the best comfort food that I have ever tasted. And when it comes to her pulled pork sandwich, well, there are no words. Well, Heather, that's a great looking butt right there.
That is a nice looking butt.
And what is that butt?
So this is actually a shoulder.
We're going to cook this for how many hours?
It's about 6 hours.
6 hours, you can do it right in your oven.
Yeah, so you can do it before you leave for work in the morning, 6 to 8 hours, you know, 250, 300, depending. We're going to cook this for about 300 for about 6 hours.
Cool.
So we have our spice mix. You just want to coat your meat. So we're going to need to add some liquid. I usually have a can of tomatoes hanging out at home. I'm going to add those. If you don't have those, you can add chicken stock. We're going to cover it with foil, put it in at 300 for about 6 hours. Okay, about 6 hours later.
Oh man, that really cooked down, didn't it?
You can see it's like pulling off.
Perfect. Look at that.
Yep, look at that. Look at the pink. See? Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? And we're gonna do this vinegar sauce. It's real simple. It's just a quarter cup of brown sugar, a little bit of apple juice.
Yep.
Half a cup of apple juice, half a cup of apple cider vinegar, and then some good old-fashioned ketchup. Big pinch of pepper, 2 big pinches of salt, and that's good to go. You're gonna have to put on some gloves first. So now we're gonna pull the meat off the bone from the pork. So you can see it cooked down to like not much, like you're supposed to.
Woo!
Okay.
That's smoking hot.
Mix it in.
Oh yeah.
Now it's cooler. Now.
Oh yeah. Now we can get busy.
Now let's taste it. See if it needs any salt or.
I want this one right here.
Oh my gosh. If you don't like that, like.
We don't need coleslaw. We don't need bread.
I could just eat that.
Yeah, so we've made the pork, we've made the sauce, and now we gotta make the slaw.
And now we're gonna do the slaw that goes on top. So you get 1 cabbage, about a pound. You wanna cut it into chunks. So we'll just pulse that a little. So you can see just a couple pulses.
Oh man.
Like that. We're gonna dump that in our bowl. She took whole peeled tomatoes and she just crunched them up with her hand.
That's it.
So that's white vinegar, about quarter cup.
Oh,
okay,
man.
The sugar, and then there's some hot sauce right there.
Hot sauce coming up. Hot sauce coming up.
You ready to make a sandwich? So you do your pork on first, and the right amount of sauce, the right amount of slaw.
Wanna go cheers
ready?
on the pork? Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh, so good. There's a little pop to it.
It's a little kick from that spice.
Oh, it's good.
To learn more about Heather's recipes, you can pick up her cookbook, Big Food, Big Love, almost anywhere.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Gard Swanson. Thank you so much for joining us here on Seattle Refined. We'll see you next time.